Welcome back to another episode of Back to Narnia, brought to you by the Everyday Exiles Podcast Network. If you haven't been with us in a while, we sure have missed you. Lots of great content at everydayexiles.com on the app. Joined in studio about all my favorite people. And Whitney, how are you, Whitney?
I'm great.
So, Whitney, we're doing something different this time.
What's that?
A little Facebook Live. Look at the camera and tell them hello.
Hello.
So, Facebook Live people that are checking in, this is our first time. We're going to be doing one a month, a live check-in on one of our podcasts. So, be looking for those. Today is Friday, February the 15th, the day after Valentine's Day. I'm joined by Gene Francis.
What's up?
Look at him so they know what you look like.
What's up?
Brian Wolf.
Hello, hello. How are you?
Tiffany McCrary.
Hi.
And I'm Chris Lawson. Guys, Valentine's Day was yesterday. Do y'all celebrate Valentine's Day at your house?
If I want to stay married, yes.
So what? So your wife is a no-frills wife. Like
She-
she hates spending money.
Yeah, but she'll, like, events, holidays, birthday, big.
All in.
Gotta go big.
Okay.
So what's an appropriate Valentine's gift for your wife? Like
Most
flowers that are already on their way to dying?
flowers are fine. Most of it's just time. Like, she wants the two of us to go out to dinner, spend some time. Like, last year, I think we did. It was funny because we did a dinner at a nice restaurant in town, and then we went and hit softballs at the batting cage. And, like, that was
Nice.
perfect. Like,
You're
she loved it.
you're still living off that one.
I am.
Yeah.
I may do it again.
There you go. There you go. Whitney, you're a girl.
Indeed.
So tell me, for you, what's Valentine's Day?
We don't really do anything. We just I would rather him remember our anniversary and my birthday.
Is there a chance he
No.
forgets one of those?
No, but I would rather do things on those days. I just don't care about Valentine's Day. So we do stuff for the kids. I'll have a little something for them, but
A little something. You gotta celebrate those. You gotta give them a reason to come back home. I heard y'all should listen to this and we'll reference it. Andy Stanley was on a podcast, on his leadership podcast with his wife this week, and they were talking about the 3 different seasons of how they've parented. Their kids are adults now, about discipline, friendship, and then and one of the things they talked about is that they wanted to make sure that their house was a place that their kids ran back to. And so he was like if we have a snow day in Georgia, and it's clear it's going to snow at my kid's house, they come to our house and get snowed in because they want to be with us all the time. I was like, that's the parenting win for us, right? Is that we have a place that they all want to run back to. Gene?
What was the question? Oh, Valentine's Day. Sorry.
Yeah.
So
Must
we
have
have
been special.
Yeah. So there's a little era of oh, it's not a big deal. It's just another day.
But not really.
There's this looming. I can't blow this off. I always, ever since we've had Elliot, I make it. I'll go to the dollar store and buy $10 worth of hearts and just put them up in the hallway and stuff. And when Elliot comes, she just thinks it's awesome. So I'll get some flowers and kind of make a big day of it like that. And then Abby and I, if we find some time, we'll figure something out. It's not fun going to dinner on Valentine's Day.
Oh, no.
It's not fun at all.
I'm going to tell you
all
about
sorts of expensive set menus.
It's expensive.
And
There's a billion people out.
Yeah.
It's just not fun.
babysitters are impossible to come by.
That's right. I'm going to tell you what we do on Valentine's Day in just a second. But Whitney,
That's Tiffany.
this is Tiffany.
My
This is
name's
Tiffany.
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 Nice to meet you. I
I actually did forget your name in episode 3.
I know. Jeez.
It's getting old. Happens.
We don't do anything. Around the week of some point, we would go to dinner maybe to say that this is our Valentine's celebration. But I don't. Flowers. I'll take them or leave them, and candy. Take it or leave it. It's whatever. But we will start traditions with Hudson, I think, to celebrate a little bit, not go all out. I still get Valentine's gifts from my mom. She'll still send cards with
yeah.
a little gift card
Mine
or something
too.
in it. So
I feel like you're benefiting from being the only child.
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And I am okay with that.
Spoiled.
Yes.
Sports. So here's the deal. Our very first Valentine's Day, so we started dating in March. So, in January, New Year's Day was our first date. So we're pretty fresh in. And we're 6 weeks in. I'm like, I need this girl. She has not realized yet that she is way out of my league. And so I got to lock her down too. And she had talked a lot about her mother's a really good cook. And she's like, I'd really like to learn how to cook. So I was like, oh, first Valentine's Day, new set of pots and pans. That's what I got her for our first.
No.
Absolutely. And I was so excited about it. I picked.
Oh.
I picked
Please tell me what Mary did.
Well, she
Did
left
was
me for
she-
6 months and found another boyfriend. And came back. But then, by the grace of Jesus,
We
the-
had nice pots and pans.
no, I had to return them.
Didn't
So
keep 'em.
yes, no. So what she really wants is she doesn't want a gift. As she would say, we share a checking account. If I wanted stuff, I'd have stuff.
how I
What she
feel.
wants is for me to schedule a whole day, like take her to a breakfast place she loves, then take her shopping, and then go to a movie, then go to dinner.
She wants you to put in the effort.
She mostly wants to not be with our children. So however that works out.
That
So
can't be true. First of all,
But
No.
it's so
Second
fun
of
to
all,
have
I-
somebody who knows you plan it for you. Though.
That's right.
Like, I think that's the sweetest part of that.
Yeah.
Is like, you know her well. You're going to lay
Yep.
it out to the
I
day
once
she
gave Abby a dustbuster for Valentine's Day.
how you got
But it was
her doing
purple. But it was purple, so I I was like, it was the
All
nicest
things
one.
are excusable if their color is cool.
I said it was the nicest one in the store.
Yeah, how'd that work out for you?
Like a Dyson.
Not good. She still
dustbuster,
brings
that's
it
what
up.
it's
No, it wasn't
no.
quite I didn't drop $600 on it, but
Those Dyson
like
things.
60. I dropped like
I just
60
thought
on it.
because
Whit.
it was purple.
Different
I was
different
just thinking
lives.
it was
We lead
purple.
different lives.
Yes, as I tell Brian, we're not living the same life. But then by the grace of God, February 14th, 2007, the first child was born, and I am totally off the hook. Like it does not
Because it's
matter.
Adam's birthday.
Because
all about
we have
Adam.
2 Christmas babies, like right around Christmas, and it's very important to her that their thunder never gets stolen by Christmas. So, like, no Christmas carols. No, don't-
Jesus, take a step back.
yeah. So listen, don't ask her who's more important. And so don't like wrap my kids' Christmas birthday presents in Christmas
Oh,
paper.
that is the worst.
Yeah.
I'm a December baby.
Yeah, she's out on that. So, like, you can't even talk about Valentine's Day on his birthday because it's his birthday, and I'm totally off the hook. But we have to go out to dinner.
Like
You know where he wants to go
sometime
for his
around.
birthday every year?
Get to.
K&W.
No, I wish. Good gracious.
That'd be amazing.
Arigatos.
Oh.
Oh,
Which is
Oh,
their,
fun.
which is first not great, but
Busiest.
second, it's their busiest day of year,
It's a
so we have to
$1
make
billion,
reservations like
like
2
before
months
Christmas.
in town.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like we set a reminder for December 14th.
Go Umi this time. It's better.
We did. This is you. You and Marie McKeeman get credit. We switched to Umi. There are things that are not as good at Umi as at Arigato.
The Tokyo Japan place is better than any of them.
With the fish inside.
Yes,
Yes.
I love
Where's
that place.
It's
the best
you would
place.
never go there. It's in Peters Creek down in the hole. It's like tipping over the highway.
I would never get there because I stop at Sampan when I go down there.
I was gonna say that family loves eating up and
But
down
it's an
Peters Creek.
odd-
That's some of the best food in Winston.
That's right.
That's an odd Valentine's
Oh,
Day.
Rachel,
Hey, let's
another-
go out with 5 other couples and
Yes,
sit
and
around a
sit at the
table.
same table
I've
with
never
them.
understood the whole
Yeah.
Japanese steakhouse for Valentine's Day.
But it's so popular, man. You can't get rid of it. So we are on chapter 4. That was a deep dive on Valentine's Day. Hey, listen. Hey, we're relevant because that was yesterday. And how many of you, if you screwed that up, let us know in the comments. And Gina and I'll be there with you, Dustbuster and Pot Boys down here. I don't think I could say Pot Boy. Pots and Pants Boys. Pots and Pans Boy. All right.
Pots and pats.
This is chapter 4. Shasta falls in with the Narnians.
This chapter begins with Shasta, Bree, Aravis, and Wynn heading into Tashbaan in their disguises. The city gates open, and they enter the city without too much fanfare, though Shasta is chided? Am I
Chided.
Oh,
I would have
man.
said chided.
Chided. I'd say
I thought it
chided.
was chided. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one. I
Listeners.
thought I was going to look silly.
Hey, tell us how to pronounce English
Tell us
words,
how-
please.
He is disciplined for taking a saddle horse to do a pack horse's job, indicating that Bree's disguise is fooling no one.
So Shasta's made fun of, I think is what that word means.
Oh, there you go.
This is going to be fun,
And
boys
he's-
and girls on Facebook Live.
and he-
Watch Brian read.
And he's hit. Oh,
No pressure.
I
I'm
knew,
rooting for
I
you,
knew
Brian.
that it was chided. So they travel through the crowded and filthy streets. Undetected, the only interruptions are when important individuals are passing through the streets. All those who are less important must move out of the way for them to pass. During one such occasion, a crier says to make way for the Narnian lords.
You did it!
Look at me.
Clutch.
So mean. They're so mean.
Oh, as the Narnian lords pass, they grab Shasta and begin to ask where he has been. They have mistaken Shasta for a prince of Arkenland named Corin. King Edmund continually asks Shasta questions as they proceed down the street, but Shasta does not know how to answer. They eventually turn up in a beautiful room with other Narnians, including Queen Susan and Mr. Tumnus. Shasta has never seen a fawn and is rather surprised.
You gave him 2?
Oh, I'm reading again. My bad. I didn't see this one.
We should get. I'm gonna give that to Whitney. Whitney, go.
Suspecting that Shasta is simply exhausted to the point of muteness, he is well attended and is allowed to rest. Meanwhile, Edmund and Susan have a conversation about Susan's decision to decline marriage to Prince Rabadash. Edmund believes that Susan has made a wise decision. He then says that he has something to tell Susan and asks that the doors to the room be sealed.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun dun dun. So I don't hate this chapter because Narnia has shown up. If this is your first time checking us out, if you just follow us on Facebook, you're like, oh, I've never watched that. In general, I only like one chapter in all the Chronicles of Narnia. Does anybody know what it is?
Chapter
5.
Chapter
Chapter
five.
5.
Yeah.
So from the language and wardrobe. But now Narnia has invaded my horse and his boy. Gene, what was your favorite part of this?
It's the gleaming ray of hope. Even though it's like a time of despair for Shasta, this is a turning point that something good is about to happen, because you've at this point in time in the series you recognize that Narnia is that gleaming ray of hope. So even though it's creating some confusion, they're gonna have to figure it out. It's like he gets almost saved pretty early on. You know, I mean, even though he has to figure it out.
Yeah.
Whitney, what was your favorite part?
I sort of like that they call Queen Susan the Barbarian Queen, because I love
strong
that.
girl characters
Yes,
again, right?
I love it. So that's my detail that I love.
Brian?
I'm a fan of Edmund. Part of it, I never hated Edmund like Tiffany did, because I remembered like
I
where
hated him too.
Edmund
Tiffany hates him like
ended.
we hate the devil. That's not fair.
And so I love to see, to me, this is the final transformation of who he is in comparison to who he was.
That's really good. Tiffany?
You almost did it again. You always so funny. I like just seeing King Edmund and Susan and all them again. I feel like it's like old friends.
You like seeing Edmund
Like,
again?
Well, yes, because he was redeemed. Guys, we've talked about it.
Come
I
a
don't
long
hate
way.
him. But it's like, and Mr. Tumnus, like, our old friends are all back. Like you're saying, it gives a little bit of hope. And for Shasta just to sit on a pillow, he's like, what is this thing?
Probably
and
never
eat
seen
the
a pillow,
food.
yeah.
Like, I love that he gets to see a little glimpse of that life.
You know, one of the things C.S. Lewis does so brilliantly, I think last time we talked about one, I don't like transitional chapters, but one of the things he does is he foreshadows the victory really early in his stories. And, that's one of the storytelling devices you're not supposed to use. Like, you're not supposed to resolve
away
the
the
conflict
ending too quickly.
very early, because it's not good in storytelling to do that. But he always does that. Like, he lets you know. And I think it made me think about the ways in which we discipline our kids by not letting them think we're doing it out of anger. That we're actually showing them that the victory in our discipline of them is our affection for them, right? And Gene, when Elliot's having a hard time, how are you helping her see, like, this is not how the story's going to end right here? Like, a kid was unkind to you.
Right.
Kid was unkind to Elliot. Gene would run him over with a car, but
That is almost true, but
you only say almost because you might
because
accidentally
I'm not
do it.
allowed to. Yeah,
Because it's on air.
Yeah, it's on air. But no, just talking to her and working through her emotions and understanding that we are all emotional beings, and I love to just sit and pick her brain about why things are happening the way that they are. So whether she's done something that has gotten her in trouble with me or her mom, or she's gone through a circumstance with a friend and it upset her, like, let's talk about that. Like, how come you feel this way? And I like to, if somebody has done something to her, I always bring it back to, have you ever made somebody feel like that? Did you ever leave somebody out when you were playing? Remember how this feels, because I want you to treat people the way that you want to be treated, and she's super receptive to it, and she's awesome.
Whitney?
I feel like that was a lot of good quality.
Gene wins the day on the
You
question.
do. You
Yeah,
do
that was
win the
really
day.
thoughtful.
He doesn't always do that. But,
I
mean, it's a
you're
good
zoning in
process.
if you're tuning in for the first time,
It's just not a regular. I do think I'll speak to that.
Okay. So you actually are Whitney right now. Go ahead.
No, I mean, unless you have something to say.
No, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Someone, I think, in this room said that sometimes, it might have been Eugene. I'll give you credit for it.
thanks.
But to give them grace, or when they get in trouble, but not give them the punishment that they deserve or whatever. So we did that for the first time. Hudson was in trouble, and we told him he couldn't have ice cream.
What did he do?
Probably hitting us, or
Okay. Is he still
something.
biting?
No, he's not biting. Thankfully, he just rears back and smacks you in the face. But he did something like that, and we told him he couldn't get ice cream when we went to Dario or whatever. And
That's a tough call.
and his little sweetheart, we told him he couldn't, and we got there, and then he didn't ask. We made sure he didn't ask, but we said, we are going to have ice cream. I don't think he understood it, too, what we were talking about, but we said, you don't deserve it, but we're going to give it to you anyways. And we said, and that's what Jesus did for us. And so we tried to spin it like that, like, this is how it's going to be in the end, circling back to our point. Like, this is not the end, like all these bad things.
Yeah.
So,
Brian, with yours?
To me, it's always about what brings about restoration, and so it differs with different kids. Sometimes it's a forceful discipline, and there's a consequence that is needed, and then sometimes it is moments like Tiffany's talking about, where it's just, hey, I'm gonna pull back from this, because at the end of the day, what I want to make sure we're communicating is that in the midst of this, we want to see restoration happen. And so, if it's brother and sister fighting, if it's something that happened with mom and dad, that it's always pushing towards the process is the important part that leads to restoration, not just the actual discipline.
So I just wonder, C.S. Lewis is so good at this, like giving the foreshadowing of the victory, and we don't know how the story is going to be reconciled, but we definitely have a villain, right? We have we don't know who the larger villain is in this story yet. I'm not sure there is a larger villain other than, I'm really reading it as we do it, but we definitely have the kind of authority figure, and now we have the heroes, and we're moving forward. And I think our kids need to know that their hope is not misplaced. Like, there really is a way that the story ends victoriously for the Christian. Hey, guys, first Facebook Live. We didn't screw it up too bad, right?
Yeah.
Wave at the crowd. We'll be back next Friday with Chapter 5 of The Horse and His Boy, and we'll continue to roll our way through this book. I like this book so far. So far, it's not terrible. So,
As a rave review right there.
so far,
C.S. Lewis, not terrible.
so far, not terrible.
So it ends. Thanks so much for joining us for another episode of Back to Narnia, brought to you by the Everyday X-House Podcast Network. If you don't currently subscribe to this podcast and you're seeing us for the first time on Facebook Live, subscribe, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, Google Play, all the major platforms. Download the app. Subscribe to the weekend newsletter. Gene, do you get a copy of the weekend newsletter?
Sure do.
And it's called Newsworthy and Notes, or we have a fancy name for it. And then we also are now sending out a midweek email with a great piece. Like this week, last week we were highlighting a free document we're handing out to everybody. It's a resource called 5 Ways to Defeat Apathy, which is a really great document written by one of our writers. And so check that out. If you subscribe, you'll get that for free. Gene, we'll be back next week, man. Thanks for being here.
Amen.
Whitney, you're invited.